Hi guys, it's Emily from Novell Novels and welcome to today's video. This is the Jane Austen at Home tag. Now I was tagged in this by the lovely Roz from Scully Danglings in the Books, and even though you're supposed to do it in Jane Austen July, and obviously this is coming up in August, I am going to tag two channels, but if you want to do it still, do it belated, talk about Jane Austen, that's always good. I'm going to tag at the start of this Gemma from Read a Book Gem and Nikki from Red Dot Reads. But if there are more of you that want to do it, please feel free to do it and let me know in the comments below. And obviously I would love to hear your answers. So let's get on. This was supposed to be done in Jane Austen July, but you know me, all my videos are pre-planned, all my videos are organised, and I've managed to rejig it around. So it's kind of like a posthumous Jane Austen July book tag. Bit of a longer one, so I won't ramble too much. Hope you like the answers. I gave it my best shot. Here we go. Prompt number 1, Mansfield Park. The grandeurs of the house astonished, but could not console her. Name a grand book that may or may not have been difficult to read. Couldn't think. Most of these answers are a bit of a prank, but I thought of a grand book, and my gorgeous copy of it, David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. This is a very grand book because David Copperfield starts off lower but then becomes quite grand, and he goes through all the emotions. And this looks like, because this copy is so gorgeous, and I thought this copy is my copy with pictures, but of course it isn't. But this copy is very gorgeous, very grand, very elegant. Penguin Classics, Clothbound Classics edition, and yes, very grand. I actually didn't find it difficult to read. In fact, it's one of the rare Charles Dickens books that I did find easiest to read. He does have a few other grand books, but I think Dickens's books may sometimes look grand, but are actually difficult to read. But that was grand and pleasant to read, and one I really did enjoy. Next one is Barton Cottage from Sense and Sensibility. In comparison to Norland, it was poor and small indeed. Name a book about a household in difficult circumstances. Now, I had a thought, and I actually thought this one has got two households in very difficult circumstances. This is The Paris Library by Janet Skiffins Charles, which I got given for a tandem read-along. And this, although it has two households, one is set in France, obviously in the time of the Second World War. Second World War households were very, very going through a lot of difficulties. Obviously, in this one, they have one member of the team, the daughter, who works at the library and does that, and then you have her brother, who does things that her parents might not always have agreed with. So a deal is there. And then in the 1980s, you have Lily's household, and Lily is going through her other household. At the start, she loses her mum, then she gets a stepmom, and then she has various problematic family elements within this. So this family really does have quite a lot of problems. And the way it interconnects Odile and Lily's stories, I loved. It's probably one of my most beautiful hardback. I love this naked hardback. It's beautiful. And it's just an absolutely gorgeous book. But this, two very different ladies, two very different households that are under great difficulty. And I thought this was the perfect answer for that prompt. I hope I'm doing all right with this, Ross. Hope you're liking this. Hatfield from Emma. No, Hatfield from Emma. Sorry. No, it is Hatfield from Emma. Sorry, I can't even read my own writing. I believe a few married women are half as much a mistress of their households as I am of Hatfield. Name a book you're entirely the mistress of. Could have chosen two books for this, but I chose my favourite book of all time, Wuthering Heights, and I thought I'd show you again my bound copy of this. I have read this book so many times that I know it off the back of my hand. I know the characters, I know the storylines, I've got two different editions of it. I friggin' love this book. We are going to be shouting out a proper announcement very shortly, but I'm going to be hosting a read along of this in October with a few other fantastic booktubers. Obviously Kate, from Kate Howe, Gemma from Read a Book Gem, and a few other lovely ladies. We're going to be hosting a read along of this. But when I say I'm the mistress of this book, obviously it's written by Emily Bronte, one of the Bronte sisters, the Bronte sister that I'm named after. This could not be more loved if I tried. Yes, it's dark. Yes, it's gothic. Yes, it's mysterious. Yes, it's a Marmite book that you either love or you hate, but I freaking love it. It's gorgeous. I love it so much that I've got 2 copies of it, and I would like, and sometimes I think I want a third. I just love it so much. You'd have, maybe I should get loads and loads of copies of this and do be mad, like, because Katie from Books and Things, she's got loads of different copies of this, of books that she loves, and I think this one, obviously, I would happily, because I know this book. I know what it starts with. I know Heathcliff. I love Kathy. I love their children. I love the way it all interlinks. I love Nellie. I don't love Nellie. No, I don't like her, but you know, there's characters in this you love. There's characters you hate. I am the mistress of this book. You ask me any questions, this could be my mastermind book. I know this book very well. I can't wait to reread it and learn it again even more soon. So definitely. Next one, Fullerton from Northanger Abbey. That's probably my least read book. Now there is nothing so charming as her imagination, as the unpretending comfort of well-connected personages. Something like Fullerton. Name a book with a contented family. So, again, I had to have a think. But I think the family within Anne's House of Dreams. So this is where Anne is with Gilbert, which we obviously know she has that. This is where she's about to marry her childhood friend Gilbert and set up home, a house of dreams. And tragedy strikes and it takes all of Gilbert's love. Oops, wrong one. Don't become it. But yes, Anne's other books. I think maybe this might be the next one after this, but she does have a contented family because she does get her children. I think so. It must be the one after this, actually. Why did I get it wrong? I'm sorry, guys. But one of the Anne of Green Gables books where she's got her family and she gets multiple children in this. I'm rereading this series next year. Another reminder for you guys that I'm hosting a read along of this, which I'll be doing for the next year with Gemma and Ange, and I think Danny from Spinning Speaks. We're all going to be doing it. But yeah, the family in the next book after this. Why did I get wrong order? I think it might be, yes. So the one after this, I can't remember the name of it, but the one after this. Or I've got another book up there, Little Women. That's a contented family. Sorry, I kind of bluebered this one up a little bit. But you know the one after that one. There you go. That's my contented family. I think the families in the Anne of Green Gables, even Anne of Green Gables, the first one, I think that's a brilliant contented family. The family she makes with Matthew and her other auntie, and I cannot remember her name, but yes, the family in Anne of Green Gables. So should have said the first family in Anne of Green Gables or the one after that one. They're the two that I love, and I'm sorry I fluffed this up a little bit. Raring's Park, Pride and Prejudice is the next one. He declared he might almost have supposed himself in the small summer breakfast parlour at Rosings, a comparison that did not convey much gratification. Name a book that other books are constantly compared to. Had to have a think, had to ask my sister, and she thought of a great one. Oops. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. So many books are compared to this because this is one of her best books in my opinion. Not the best. I've got another, you guys know I've got another one, but this is dark and gothic, and lots of other books strive to be dark and gothic as this. Rebecca is dead, yet she influences every action, every thought of other characters in the book. And Mallory Blackman liked it, so that's obviously telling you something. A trip to south of France, the shy heroine of Rebecca falls in love with Maxim de Winter, a healthy, handsome widower. But as they arrive at Manderley, his Cornish mansion, a change comes across Max, and the young bride is filled with dread. I want that copy of Jamaica Inn. I'm just going to get off. I know me, I'm probably going to give in and buy it full price, but I want this matching copy of it, because I did find myself comparing, and I find myself comparing other books to this, other of her own books. So I compared Jamaica Inn, I compared Frenchman's Creek, I compared the other book that down there, the Sorrow of Grief or something that I read this month, and Jamaica Inn and Frenchman's Creek beat it a little bit, but the other one's quite nearly, but this is friggin' amazing. I love it. I want to reread it. I think, let me know guys if anyone wants to reread that next year, because I'll have to plan that and sort that out. Okay, here we go. HMS Sloop, The Asp, Persuasion. From Persuasion. Quite the worn out and broken up, I was the last man who commanded her. Show us a book that looks worse for wear. I don't have many books worse for wear. I don't like books. I like my books to look pretty and nice, and I like my books. Yes, a lot of them are second hand, a lot of them are slightly cracked. There's one that actually I've just got to give away because it's got a bit of a cracked spine. This is the one that I think the spine of this looks cracked, and that's my copy of Silas Marner, which I do need to get to. I think I'm going to try and read this for Victober actually, because it's a short one, so it might be perfect for Victober. But yeah, I found this in my charity shop, now near me, Baz Books, and the spine does look a bit broken up. Embittered by false accusations, disappointed in friendship and love, the weaver Silas Marner retreats into a long twilight life alone with Loom and his gold. Ooh, well, I like this, by the way, guys. I know some of you like George Eliot's books, but what do you think? This does look like a bit. This is about as battered and bruised as I could find in a book. The next one is a Northanger Abbey one. Northanger Abbey. An abbey it was so delightful to really be an abbey, but she doubted as she looked round the room whether anything within her observation could have given her consciousness. Name a book that wasn't as creepy or dramatic as you thought it would be. And that I don't have because I didn't like my copy of it, but Frankenstein. I thought I would be scared stupid by that. I really did, but it wasn't. And actually, I've just thought of another one. And along those same lines, Dracula. Now, Dracula, I thought I would be scared witless by, because Dracula's like a horror, gothic horror. Actually, I'm going to change my answer to that. Dracula. I thought I would be petrified by Dracula, but I wasn't. I'm not saying I loved it, but I did not run for the hills like I did with the Stephen King books. I was not petrified. I liked it, and I think I would probably like Victorian classics horrors more than I would like modern day horrors, because they're a lot more graphic. And I think Dracula is a bit scary at points. But Dracula is my answer, actually. I'm going to change that. Now the next one, number 8, nearly at the end. Portsmouth from Mansfield Park. The smallness of the house and the thinness of the walls brought everything so close to her that added to the fatigue of the journey and all her recent agitation. She could hardly bear it. Name a book that disappointed you when you revisited it. This is going to be a bit of an answer that you're not going to like. Mansfield Park. Now you guys would have hopefully seen my ranking of my Jane Austen books. Obviously, Jane Austen July. I reread this, and the first time I read it, I think it was one of my favourite Jane Austen. I think it was up there in the top 3, and it dropped a couple of places. In fact, probably when I reread it again, it may drop even lower. But obviously, if you've watched my video, watch that video, you'll see. But this disappointed me. It had a lot of promise in the first one, but since I've read all the other ones, yes, the storyline is good, the characters are good, but I found myself getting a lot more annoyed at Fanny. I was like, find your feist, girl, find your backbone, stand up for yourself. And she didn't enough. I kind of like the baddie of Mr. Crawford. I thought I wanted her to get with him and not her cousin, because to me that still feels a bit icky. I wouldn't want to get with any of my cousins. No, thank you. That feels wrong. And they're like, it's just wrong. It's just not on. I know that was in those times and it'd probably get away with it, but it's icky. So, yeah, I didn't like this as much when I reread it. Whereas Persuasion was the other way around. I hated it the first time and loved it the second. So, I am a bit strange, aren't I? So, now, because I needed an extra page because of my son, I had to scrap a page out of another book. So, the penultimate question. Kelly Lynch Hall from Persuasion. Persuasion again. Principal seat. Kelly Lynch Hall in the home of Somerset. Name a book from your ancestral home. Guess what? I had to look this up because I'm not sure. I'm from Buckinghamshire. That's where I was born. That's where I've got a lot of family up in Buckinghamshire. But I live now in Berkshire, and I've lived in Berkshire most of my life. So when I looked up Berkshire, I couldn't find many answers. So I looked up Buckinghamshire. And guess what? One of my favourite books of all time that I could not find my copy of it, but hey ho, I've got it. Matilda was actually set in Buckinghamshire. I love Roald Dahl's books. I love Matilda. So the fact that that book is set in the county that I was born in and that I've got family in, yippee! Now I know my Uncle Michael subscribed to this channel, so he might be able to let me know, message me on Messenger and see if you know about any other books that are set in Buckinghamshire, where we're from. because I think that would really interest me. But I think Wind in the Willows is also set in Buckinghamshire, so that would be quite a good answer. I quite enjoyed trying to find that one out. That was quite a good fun prompt for me to do last night. The last prompt, unless you count the bonus. Pemberley, Pride and Prejudice. They have now entreated a beautiful walk by the side of the water, and every step was bringing you forward to noble fall of ground. Name a book that you're ready to dive into. Now, as you are watching this, I will be currently reading this, but the day I'm filming this, just before the start of August, Act Your Age, Eve Brown. I'm starting this on the 1st of August with the lovely Guy from Guy Athena. It's the last in the Brown Girl sisters. Eve Brown is a certified hot mess. No matter how she strives to do everything, her life always goes horribly wrong and she's given up trying. I don't want to talk anymore, but I'm just so excited. That's why I couldn't wait. I had to start it and pick it up on the 1st. The fact the guy who got it for me is just gorgeous, and you know I've loved all the Brown Girls books. So yeah, I can't believe I'm going to be finishing this series, but I can't wait to dive into it. Now, bonus question. Which of these households would you like to live in? Pemberley! Pemberley! I want to live in Pemberley. I like the sisters. I like the descriptions. When I've watched most of the film. Oh, I was doing really well. I was watching it over lunchtimes and I was doing really well watching it. And then Mia went into isolation and it just all went tits up, and I've not had the TV to myself since. But yeah, for some reason, Pemberley, where the sisters are, I just think it's when I've sort of seen the pictures of it all, I love Pemberley, so that's my answer to that. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.